No, he doesn't work
All right now?
No, I'm not. I'm learning. Oh, good evening, Elliott.
Hi.
You know, when I woke up this morning, I did not think I was going to see you today.
Yeah. Why is that?
Because I didn't have a plan to come up here. And just for reference, this is like 3 hours from my house. It's not a little jaunt across the street. I've got to drive from San Diego to like almost Oxnard.
Yeah, so you drove all the way up. Well, hold on. Let's back up. So welcome to the Bad Lines podcast.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. I believe this is number 6. Number 6.
Yeah. It's technically going to be filmed as number 5.
Okay.
Right? No, we have 3 out.
It's 4 out. Anyways.
Doesn't matter.
Welcome. And so, yeah, this guy just drove up 3 hours after his day of work. And why'd you come up, bud?
Well, I have a Bronco being built at the Fab Lab. He was on the last episode, and we had to bring up a transmission that Wonko just finished up for me. He did it in a very timely manner. These are all names in this industry space that, you know, they're just Wonko's a guy. He's got actually have other parts from him as well, like the computers from the Ranger for all Wonko stuff.
This is like a Ford dude.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, he's an off-road dude.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I came up here to drop that off. Had to take it out of the back of the BMW because
you loaded in your 3 Series, so
it's better on gas.
Bronco tranny. How did it ride?
Great.
Yeah, like a caddy,
like a caddy,
like a Beamer.
No, because one of the freaking wheels on it or tires, I don't know, something's out of balance on the thing, and it's not. It's a little rough on the ride up here today. So I was hoping once the transmission came out, it would have fixed that a little bit, but it didn't do anything. No.
You needed the weight.
Yeah, but we got it. It's Mikey's got it. He's gonna finish the Bronco up this week, hopefully. Hopefully it's running and starting. Hopefully it starts. It's been started in 5 years, so hopefully it starts tomorrow.
So it hasn't started in 5 years, and you're hoping to. You're not driving it home. You're gonna tow it home.
I wanted to drive it home, and Mikey's like pushing for it. He's like, "Oh, just bring the olds up," one of my shit cars, and he's like, "Just leave that at the shop, and then drive the Bronco home." But then I'm like, then I got to figure out how to like come get the Oldsmobile.
Yeah,
it's the same problem. Which I think I'm just gonna bring a truck and trailer.
I could drive it back.
Let's go.
I could tow it back now.
You could flat tow it? Just flat tow the olds?
No, we'll get a trailer. I don't know. We'll get a U-Haul trailer one way.
Oh, but it's all good. So with that said, Elliott can tow now.
Yeah.
Towing guy.
Big full-size guy now, folks. So which is pretty rad. Got a Tundra, new to me. Not new. 2013 Tundra, Crew Max. Bro.
Yeah.
All the room.
Big boy Toyota guy.
Yeah.
You got the biggest Toyota they sell.
Yeah, things like it's gigantic. The cab, it reminds me of like a mega cab Dodge, like how big the cab is. I don't know, like how like size comparable, because the mega cab Dodge is like stupid big.
I wonder. I mean, how do you measure that? Do they do like volume? Like if you were with water?
I'm sure Endless Trails has got it all figured out. I'll probably ask him about it.
Yeah, got some engineers in here.
Yeah, but so yeah, dude, it's pretty crazy how it worked. It was like a trade that was like 2 months in the making,
which is so weird. You trade like kids trade baseball cards.
Yeah,
you just traded a truck.
Just traded a truck. Traded the 2012 Tacoma for this Tundra straight up with a dude off of our forum.
Yeah,
which is pretty nuts. So basically, Harry Johnson on the forum. That's not his real name. It's actually Brian. Met him in real life. But so he posts up. He's like, "Hey, this thread, Harry needs a new truck. Give me some bad ideas." And so my first post was like, "You should buy one of these trucks that's like for sale on the forum." Like I just linked some threads on the forum, and I was like, "Or I'll trade you my Tacoma." Like jokingly, like, obviously who's going to want whatever.
A much smaller Toyota.
Yeah. And so, I mean, yeah, we can get into that a little bit, but basically the dude's like, basically I'm not saying no, like I'm interested. And so I sent him the build thread that I already had that I had transferred over from.
Which I'll stop in. How nice is that?
Yeah.
When someone like, and I'm using that as a reference because today I posted up the one of the Rangers I have for sale, and I'm like, there's the build thread. Like that, this is everything you need to know about. It's just listed right here.
Oh, totally.
Done all the work already.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't even remember all of this stuff. I mean, I've had that truck since like 2016, and so it's like basically your run of the mill like overland truck.
7 years.
Yeah, something like that. So it's got the skid plates, the sliders, the icon replacement shocks.
I remember getting all that stuff. We got it.
Yeah, we got it at Baja Designs from the Pilfrey dudes before that all went south. But that's a story for another day.
But you got one of the parts.
Well, yeah. I didn't. They honestly, those guys were nothing but solid. Met them at Baja Designs at like their open house or something.
Yep.
And they were super cool. I think the dude even bought me a beer. So whatever that means. But anyways, so it was like right during like we had the cleanup pre-run, we had Thanksgiving. I had to wait for the pink slip from the DMV, which takes shockingly forever.
It's about 3 weeks. I had to wait for the pink slip.
I think it took like 5 weeks for mine. I don't know what the deal was, but anyway, so the dude, I just kept in contact with him, was like, hey, this is what's happening. And it was like, we always talk about like the like-minded people. I swear to God, it was like I was talking to myself. Like the dude was the chillest guy. It's just like, yeah, man, like whatever. Like it's good. There's no timetable.
Well, it's even better because like it's not like he was out of a car and needed to get one.
No, exactly.
You guys both had each other's car at that point, essentially. Yeah. And you're just like, hey, don't wreck my car that you own.
I mean, I barely even drove the Tacoma for the last like year of owning it, and I think it was mainly because of it was so clapped out. Like it needed brakes, it needed a carrier bearing, and I fixed all that.
But you know what you did is you had other vehicles.
Yeah.
And then so this is the problem. I have 7 vehicles right now. You have 3?
Yeah.
Not including your wife. So
yeah.
4.
Yeah.
4 between the two of you. So you're like, yeah, I don't have time. I got hockey to go do this. Like you just like drive the other car.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. I mean, it was like, and it's just so dumb that like I'm stoked that I got it all fixed and like it's all dialed. Like it had like this like stupid driveline shutter and but it's just interesting how, I mean, if had it been like actually broken, I totally would have fixed it right away. But if it's kind of just like, I'll get to it when I get to it, it's just not a priority. And so once you do fix it though, you're like, dude, what am I doing? Like, why didn't I do this a decade ago? But
yeah, and so sometimes I do that because I'm like the BMW, right? I have a salvage title 2008 BMW. Like they're just not known for being reliable vehicles. So even doing like an oil change, if you pay to go get it done, it's like $150. I'm like, is this worth the investment?
Like, so you just run it?
No, I do the oil change myself, but like sometimes you're just like, I should just drive one of the other cars right now because like you just don't want to like. I don't know.
It's a big first world problem situation. But anyways,
yeah.
Stoked on the new Tundra. Looking forward to towing some stuff, even though I always drive everything out, or I've been flat towing it for I guess the off-road trucks have been flat towing them for the last bit. But anyways, yeah, it was super cool though to meet that dude, and it all worked out. Like he's stoked on the Tacoma. It obviously needs some new tires and a couple little things here and there, and
but he's already taken over your build thread on it.
Yeah.
He's about it.
Yeah.
And he's like already got plans for it. Now he's got like this new, like you're just as stoked as he on.
Oh, totally.
Deal. Like,
yeah,
he wanted more of an off-road truck.
Exactly. And now
you wanted more of like a family adventure car or something.
I wanted like a tow vehicle that, something with a little more room.
Yeah.
Less of an adventure. I don't need, 3 off-road trucks. I mean, even though that's kind of still an off-road truck, I guess, but it's like a stock tow vehicle.
Family vacation. Like,
yeah.
We're going to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah.
Like you jump in that bad boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, it's just cool to like have that interaction with, obviously it's like the badlinesgoodtimes.com site. We built
this. We are.
That's who we are. But we, building this forum, like creating the skeleton of the forum, like people are joining, like however, if it's word of mouth or through Instagram or, now YouTube, doing this podcast. It's like, however you found our forum, it's pretty cool to see, like, the like-minded people coming together and, helping one another. And it's like, is someone else going to find a Tacoma Tundra style trade? No, probably not. That's probably pretty rare to like straight up trade
a
it for.
Craigslist person. Like,
Yeah.
ugh.
But like the dude was super cool. Like, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where you like meet somebody and you're like, dude, I feel like I've known this guy for years, and I've literally, that was the funniest thing too. I never talked to him on the phone. It was all through text or direct messages. And then I was like, on my way out there, I was like, shit, I've never actually spoken with this dude. I should like call him. So I was called him on my way out there to buy the truck, or not buy the truck, trade trucks. And he didn't answer. And I was like, shit, dude, he's going to catfish me. He's not a real.
Out.
But yeah, anyway, so stoked on that.
That's pretty wild. I mean, just to consider the idea that, again, one is we created a platform because there was, we all interacted from it in the past, like not this forum, but forums in general. And then we create our own forum in a very short period of time. We start meeting a bunch of new people that are like rad. And that was the whole point. And it's like, one of the not issues, but like say you go to like a truck meet or something social, like you're trying to be social as an adult and you go places and like you just don't, sometimes people just, you don't mix right away, and like you don't maybe you don't get a chance to understand them. Maybe they're too busy or whatever the thing is, but you can kind of tell who people are, like by the way they interact on forums and like how they present themselves, how they treat, like we were talking on the way here, like some people are sporadic and like just loud and they just want attention. So they write stupid shit. And it's like, don't be a dick. Like, totally. I'm using that as like a reference. Like you kind of get the feel of a person. Like the Harry Johnson guy's funny on the forum.
Oh yeah.
Like he's got some jokes. Like again, he's like, tell me what I shouldn't buy.
Totally.
Like, I want to hear it, guys.
Yeah,
let's go.
Yeah, he was like, even after he had like, we kind of agreed on it, he's like, keep the bad ideas rolling. Like he just wanted to know. It's just. Yeah. But totally, I agree.
It's just good that, one is we created something and like you just benefited from it.
Yeah.
Also, that guy benefited from it. He got what he wanted.
Sure.
I've been benefiting from it just from going on trips with a bunch of other people and stuff. Like it's just working out for, again, what we intended. What we intended was to create community. And I think that like, and I talked to my buddy who's a farmer up in upstate New York, and that's like, when you grow food and stuff, like you are directly part of a community. Like the people around you are eating your food, the restaurants are buying it from you. And like, I think especially living in like Southern California where there's just way too many people, like that sense of community falls away really quickly. And I really appreciate having like a core, like when I show up to the Clean Desert event and it's like, what's up? And you're just like, you're in your space.
Yeah. Everybody, you're like, hey guys.
Yeah. And then the best part about the forum is like, you might not have that, like, is that him? Is that the guy? But then like the second, like you guys meet and you realize like, you're you, I'm this guy on the forum.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah, you had this, and then you have already a connection built in, and it's just it's way more than just general social media, in my opinion. I don't know, and then stuff like this happens, and you can plan trips, and
I'm still like just kind of shell shocked with the whole thing. Like it just seemed like, even I was thinking about it when you were just talking right there. I was like, I remember I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, so I'm gonna trade this dude, some guy that I met on my forum, I'm going to trade the Tacoma. He's like, well, do you know what kind of condition his vehicle's in? And I'm like, well, no. I mean, he said he just did like an 800-mile road trip to Oregon and back. So like, I mean, it's probably good. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's a fucking car. It's a truck. Like,
and it's 2013.
Yeah,
it's not new.
I mean, it's like if something breaks, you're gonna fix it. And like, I guess not that I know this dude, I've met him literally for like under an hour and then talked to him by text, but it's like, I feel like I mean, and I could be wrong. We'll see how this pans out, but I think that it's solid. And even if something happens, like I'm not going to hold that on him, but you just kind of like got to put a little faith in humanity, I guess, which can burn you.
Oh yeah,
but
I got burned recently, but it's from 5 years ago. But now I'm getting burned today. It's all good.
But that's on parts. That's different than like a running driving vehicle.
Correct.
Where it's like the parts, like, hey, maybe somebody told him that it was this or that or whatever. But it's funny because this isn't the first time I've kind of like just like running and gunning, so to speak, with a vehicle purchase. Like when I bought the shitbox 4Runner, and I literally was like, the dude had it up for like, I think it was like $6,500 or $7,000. I literally drove to the guy's house, and every other one I was looking for, this is like mid COVID. Every other 4Runner was like 10,000 plus, and it was like those are all stock. This was, fairly built up. It was haggard, but that's
it had actual work done to it. Like it could go in wrong.
Yeah, like you could wheel it right away. I mean, it was a little dodgy, but anyways, the dude's like, "Do you want to test drive it?" I'm like, "Nah, I'm good." Like I already knew looking at it, it was going to drive like a swamp donkey, and I was like, "I'm just going to fix whatever's wrong with it, but this is what I want."
Well, I think there's a intent, like you can kind of tell, like when I bought the camper that I have, my new truck camper, the dude's like, yeah, no, I promise you the fridge works. I'm like, I'm sure it does. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to wait here 30 minutes for you to prove it
cool down.
Like, and then what? And like, going to offer you $100 less then? Oh, you said it works. It works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like worst case scenario, it doesn't work. And I fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're not, it's just a car. Like if it breaks down, you're going to tow it home. You got AAA.
Yeah.
Call the race team.
I don't know. It's just rad that because there is a lot more people like us than I guess we think there are.
Yeah.
And again, that we'll call it lackadaisical, or he's just not overthinking the process, and neither are you. And you're like, can it be this easy?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was like going to CarMax, but better. Like it was like the hassle-free shopping. It was that.
Well, and the cool part now is, again, we're going to bring up the forum a bunch here, but like you get to see the progression.
Yeah.
Now, like the only bad thing you would feel is like if it broke down on the way home, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It home.
No, it's fine.
So you're like, yours made. You drove yours home. He drove his home. Everyone's stoked, and now you get it. Like you both get to see like what you're going to do with that other vehicle.
Totally.
And now he's going to be a fanboy. Like where'd he go with that thing?
Yeah.
He's towing with it.
Yeah.
Tows that good? Like I don't know. Like, and you're going to be stoked. Now he's actually going to build it. You're like, man, I could have done that.
Yeah, he's going to long travel it like I should have, and hopefully put a supercharger on it.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Vehicles are funny.
They're
I don't know. I'm one of the things right now, because I'm trying to sell that Ranger, and it's like it's a 1994. It's basically 30 years old, and people keep asking me what the mileage on it is. I'm just like, this is not for you. If you want to know how many miles are on my Ford Ranger,
just have a look at that thing. It's clapped, but it's not. It's not like
I was just like when I was telling you, I'm like, I would drive it 500-600. I would drive it on a 1,000-mile trip tomorrow and not think twice about going on the trip. That's all you need to know. Like, it's not like some magic number of it's got 200,000 miles. There's no way it's working past that.
Yeah.
Like, it just depends. Like, it's in good working order right now. It's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't overheat. It runs. It drives. It doesn't burn oil. It's not smoking out the tailpipe when you start it. It's fine.
But I think there's like a mindset of like people are like, oh no, like it doesn't have full service records, so I can't take the risk. And it's like,
what's the risk?
Yeah.
A couple extra grand.
Yeah, I mean, but to some, that's that added peace of mind, I guess, with having all those service records. Like, okay, if somebody has the service records, like when I had my white Rover, my '92 Rover, so the second one, the dude had like immaculate receipts for everything, and I was like, okay, cool. Like that just to me was like, this guy's taking way better care of this thing than I'm ever going to, but like that's awesome. But I didn't like go through them all.
Yeah.
I was just like, cool, the thing runs and drives. But do you think some people like fully like nitpick each page and like go like who has time for that?
I don't know.
I'm like, is it Does it work?
Did you pay more for the car because it had the service records?
I mean, I don't think
Yeah,
so.
probably not.
Yeah.
Not guys like us. Like I was watching a YouTube video today, and there's these group of guys, and they go to Pismo, and they're like all overlanders, and they had a drivers meeting before they drove in Pismo, and it's like, okay, whatever. Like there was two different runs. One was like easier and harder, and I get it. I get it. I love people that are getting in the space. I really do appreciate overlanding in general because it's opening this eye up to like just more people going out and exploring and just
Mhm.
enjoying the space. I'm all about it, right? One of the dudes ends up like stuff in the front bumper, and he blows some radiator fluid out the thing, and ruined his radiator obviously, or something along those lines. And they all panicked, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And he was like in the furthest part of the dunes, so they would not turn the car on at all. And you could tell they're in the video, they would have been out there for probably 4 hours. I'm like, the motor is completely cold.
Mhm.
You can run the thing for a while and then turn it off again and start over.
Yeah.
Like put a little bit of fluid in it, but like just run it, start it, get where you need to go, and then no, instead they just beat all the other vehicles up to the high heavens trying to get this thing out because they just didn't know any better. And
Sure.
that was my point with this is like they didn't know any better because they were new to the space. And these were like Toyota guys who
Oh,
like
why
like
they gotta be Toyota guys?
because they were Toyota. Well, this guy was in a Lexus, but they're Toyota. They were Toyota like noobs that didn't know any better.
Mhm.
And so, like we talked about this in the last one, like you really do need to know about vehicles in general. And so that's why like you're not nervous about buying this car because you're like, okay, it runs, it drives. He got it here. It's not smoking.
Yeah.
What else should I be looking for?
Yeah.
Like, is it rusted? That's the other thing. No. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Like, what
Well,
else?
but then you're like with not that again, I don't know the dude, but it's like you kind of you see if you see a name on a on a forum or on whatever Instagram, social media, you kind of like see the same people. You're like you have kind of been following along a little bit, and you're like, this dude's like I don't want to say vetted because again, you don't know him, but he's kind of vetted.
He's vetted. He's vetted enough to have signed up for the forum,
Hmm.
contributed to the forum, and then not made himself look like an ass,
Yeah.
which some people it's hard to do.
Hmm.
And he, not everyone, I don't know. My point being is like he is vetted because he's put like enough effort in to kind of understand it more, or you understand him a little bit more just by that effort alone.
Hmm.
Because like what our forum is pretty nichey. You know what I mean? Like there's Tacoma World for that forum that you guys are on to. Like that's a big forum,
Yeah.
but that's more for like the average. I just bought a Toyota from the dealership, and I'm interested in making it cooler,
Hmm.
but that might be like fender flares,
Hmm.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
bushwhacker
That's
fender
from
flares, and like from or like changing your LEDs light on your dash to look cooler. Like
yeah.
th-
It's the whole gamut or whatever of like
yeah, it's very
mild to
broad.
wild.
Yeah, and then ours is like no, you kind of typically are just a step above, and you're wanting to build something that does exactly what you want it to do, and I guess you're not nervous. How do I
But I
explain it?
wouldn't say like not to be like douchey, like a
Yeah.
step above, like it's like some like hierarchy. It's not like that. It's like
No.
more of just a like uh kind of on a different wavelength of like vehicles where
Okay.
you're kind of like I don't even want to say more experienced because there
I
could be somebody brand new to
I
off-roading
like
also.
that we're talking about this because it's our forum and we don't exactly know who we're trying to attract. You just need to be like us, okay?
Yeah,
Not
no,
really.
no.
Just be you, but like the point, I guess, what we're both trying to say is like the same wavelength of what I don't know, man. It's funny.
I mean, it's really like okay, in my vision, the whole like the bad lines, good times, whether that be mountain bike, off road, whatever. Basically, anything with wheels that you could hurt yourself. You're like that little smile you get when you're talking to somebody about like, yeah, I almost crashed or I broke this and it sucked at the time when we got it home. Like that, the low light reel that we've talked about a few times. on these podcasts, and I think we were talking about on the Bent podcast, but it's like that type 2 fun of like, this sucks at the time, but later after the fact, you have the war story to tell.
Yeah.
That kind of mindset is,
and you're going to keep doing that same thing over again.
Yeah.
Like that didn't deter you from that same adventure.
Yeah. You might learn from it, and you might be like better equipped. Like we were talking about, like the whole what to pack thing. It's like, well, obviously that fucking sucked when we were working on XYZ problem in the middle of the desert, but now we have this tool or that tool or this, bit of knowledge. And so we're like trying to we now have a platform that we can share that knowledge, hear other people's shit-tacular
definitely
stories.
Learn from.
And learn from.
Definitely learn.
And no ego, no like, oh, you're an idiot. No. That's all, anybody like the whole thing when me working on my when I was putting in the dual cases and I fucking dropped the transmission. So it's like you see the people on Instagram, like I posted that video and it's like there's comments like, oh, you just set your camera up and dropped it on purpose. It's like, no, bro, I fucking rolled out of there like Jason Bourne. I almost died. I did not want that to happen. And it's like, I didn't, in hindsight, complete idiot. And I'll be the first one to say that, like, that wasn't a great move. If you're using a transmission jack, put the freaking ratchet strap around it so it doesn't fall off.
Yeah. No, it's again, and it's not to be like that. The point is, it's like, it's not that scary to go out on off-road. And then sometimes it sucks.
Yeah.
And then most of the time it's great. And even when it does suck, you're going to come home with this great story about how you fixed it. And like, you kind of like, you feel good that you overcame something.
Totally.
That you like, I guess you wouldn't normally, or I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have to know. Whatever it is that we've started, we've contributed towards what we're doing. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying it.
So bottom line, scope out the forum, badlinesgoodtimes.com.
We're selling.
Meet like-minded people. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.